What is considered coercion in a criminal sexual conduct case? Coercion is defined in the Minnesota statutes at statute 609.341, subdivision 14, and I'll put the actual language, the video description as well, so you can review it any time, but I'll also read it off to you. And what it says is coercion means the use by the actor, in other words the defendant, of words or circumstances that cause the complainant reasonably to fear that the actor will inflict bodily harm upon the complainant or another, or the use of the actor of confinement or superior size or strength against the complainant that causes the complainant to submit to sexual penetration or sexual contact against their will. And finally, the definition goes on to say that proof of coercion does not require proof of a specific act of the 5 degrees of criminal sexual conduct in Minnesota, first being the most serious, 5th being the least serious. The top 4 degrees have a part of them that can allege force or coercion. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th degree all have a subpart where you can be charged with criminal sexual conduct if the accuser, or in this case the complainant in the definition, alleges that there was force or coercion used to get them to perform a sexual act. So for example, that can be an alleged verbal threat, I'm going to beat you up unless you do this, or something like that. An example of words. Circumstances, sometimes holding a weapon and threatening to hit them with it if they don't, or holding a knife to them or something, that can be force or coercion, for example. But then there are other times where it's alleged that there's force or coercion, and that simply isn't the case. One of the hitches in this situation is that for the words or conduct, they have to cause the complainant to reasonably fear that the actor will commit bodily harm against them. So that's the part for the threats case. Obviously, there's other situations that the definition lists. Confinement, so not letting somebody leave a room or pinning them down or something like that can all amount to confinement. The allegation of superior size and strength, it doesn't mean any difference in size or strength. It's got to be superior size and strength, and to that effect, something that's used in order to coerce somebody unwillingly to enter into a sexual act, whether that be touching or penetration. And again, that has to cause them to submit. So just simply saying somebody's bigger doesn't cut it. They've got to allege and be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that somebody used their superior size and strength to cause the complainant or the alleged victim to submit to the sexual act. Oftentimes in Minnesota, the prosecutors will charge it out both under force and coercion. So you may see, for example, a criminal complaint that says, charge 1st degree criminal sexual conduct, force or coercion, penetration, and they'll allege that on that date, the defendant used force or coercion to coerce the alleged victim into performing a sexual act. There are, of course, a number of defenses to the force or coercion allegation. Every case is unique and every situation is unique, so it'd be too long to go into a video, but it does require a careful look to determine whether or not force or coercion did apply. And so what you want to do is, once you've established a relationship with a lawyer, you can speak with them confidentially. And that confidentiality, by the way, applies before even you hire a lawyer. So sometimes people are worried, well, wait a minute, can I tell a lawyer these things, or are they just going to go tell people what I told them? In Minnesota, the duty of confidentiality generally applies when we're talking about someone who's even considering hiring us. So you should ask a lawyer if you're concerned about that, but generally speaking, the duty of confidentiality applies if you're talking to a lawyer and considering hire them, whether you ultimately hire them or not. Finally, I just wanted to let you know this part. There's a sunset going on. Obviously, I think it's a nice little background for this video. Well, if there's a false allegation, people will often feel like their character is being attacked, and they're having a hard time focusing on anything other than the allegation that's so devastating to them and how they're going to get through this and their character. And at these times, like I said, I like to give out tips for people being accused of things as well as for their families that are supporting them. And if you're going through a false allegation and you're wondering how you're going to get through it, sometimes it just means taking pleasure in the little things. So slowing things down, remembering that the sun is going to rise the next day, the sun will set at the end of the day, and that there's a lot of beauty out there if we just stop and look for it for a minute. So you got to worry about what you can control. Obviously getting a lawyer is one good thing that you can control, and then after that you've got to be responsible for gathering your facts and assisting in the defense for yourself. But there's other things that you can't control, such as how long the process is going to take sometimes, or the fact that there's an allegation out there against you that may not be true. Those things will come in due time, and you got to keep your eye on the ball till the end of the case, of course. But in the meantime, once in a while, just slowing down and taking time to notice the little things that sometimes when we get so busy or caught up in something we can miss. And so I offer that. There's a nice sunset going on in the background, and just remember that there's something bigger than all of us out there, and something created all of this. And if you just take time to take a minute and rest in that and relax and remember, okay, the sun will rise tomorrow again. I'll get through this day. The sun's going down tonight. I've made it through this day. Tomorrow's another day. The sun will rise, and I'll take it bit by bit. And that really helps sometimes if you can just help to slow that process down in your mind and in your soul. That'll help you get through these difficult times. If you have any more questions, I'm criminal defense attorney Ryan Pacyga. You can find me at arrestedmn.com. You can call me at 612-339-5844. I've got a Facebook support group out there called Supporting the Wrongfully Accused in Minnesota. I'll put a link down there in this video as well. And I look forward to talking to you if you need help. Thanks.